Okay. We are here for another episode. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for supporting the Hello Day podcast with me, Shiko Kaitani. I always like to describe this podcast as a personal development platform, okay? This is where you get tips to a better you. But Asante Sana also, as we continue to see the numbers growing and people giving us some positive feedback. So go ahead and, of course, tell a friend about this podcast. We have a wonderful discussion here for you today. And ladies, Sana, this one is for you because we're going to be talking about the casual stuff in the way we relate. You know, the way people tell you, sikach, you know, just go with the flow, that kind of a thing. It's called the hookup culture, okay? And whether you like it or not, ladies, this type of thing, this vibe that we have today could be doing you more harm. You just probably don't know. But my guest today is going to break it down for you. I've met her in a couple of other spaces, but I'm so glad we finally got a hold of her. She is Dr. Malaika Kamenju. She is a consultant psychiatrist and she's here with us. Hey, the pretty one has arrived. The peacock.
I am here, guys. I'm here.
Yay. Thank you, Malaika, for making time.
Thank you, Shika, for having me. It's been a long time coming. Finally, we meet.
Yes.
Again.
Yeah. I love
at your set.
At my set, by the way, because we always meet on other people's sets. But I love your passion, especially for women's mental health.
Yeah.
You know, when I look at some of the content that you're doing on social media, I'm just like, oh, okay, I never looked at it that way.
Yeah.
And this particular post on the hooking up culture and its effects on women's mental health is something that really caught my attention. So why don't you start off by telling us, why did you decide on that? Like, is this something that you're always seeing more and more? Why was it a growing concern to you to just highlight it?
Thank you very much, Shika, for having me again. The reason why I chose to have that post that particular time is because I had been seeing quite a number of women coming up to my practice with issues that have something to do somewhere with a hookup that they had and several hookups that they did have that eventually ended up affecting their mental health, their mental space. Some of them had anxiety, some developed depression, and some just were really in a really pretty bad mental health space.
This is because they felt they invested too much or they went too far, like in terms of thinking ahead.
No, I think a lot of the times when we talk about the hooking up, it just means a casual fling, right? A casual fling is meant to happen just once or once in a while. But the way women are wired, once is enough.
It's enough to get hooked.
Yeah. So someone goes in there with the intent of just having a one night stand. It might be twice, perhaps, with the same person. But as they have the one time or the second time, they end up feeling attached to this person, and the other person is not attached to them.
Right.
And sex being a very intimate affair for women, particularly, and the bond that comes with that, they end up feeling dejected, devalued, self-esteem issues, and then if many times it spirals out of control, and then they end up now in my office.
Right. So casual sex is just never casual for women, in your opinion?
Not. It can be, but many times it's not.
It's not, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Many times it ends up being something else that you're wanting it to be something more. Yet your partner went in there with the intent of just having a one night stand or having fun without any attachment to it, but you end up getting invested emotionally and also psychologically.
And in most cases, I think women do like men before even the act happens. So already the bond mentally was kind of already there, the attachment.
Exactly, yes. Women are not like men are visual.
Right.
We see you one time and that's it. But for us, we hear what you're saying, we see the cues, and all those things make us slowly get invested into this affair, and then it's just no longer just a casual thing. Now we are thinking about perhaps dinner and maybe it was never supposed to be a dinner after
Oh
this.
my God.
Yeah, it was just supposed to
jeez.
be a good
Heartbreak.
time, and then that's that. Yeah.
Okay, but there's always this pressure thanks to what we're seeing. There are all these narratives, this imagery that's around us. You highlighted that, of course, we see casual sex being highly promoted. I think not very many of us really notice that it is being highly promoted. To you, it's just another video, another song, another way, babe, a new fashion trend, a new, just way that guys are actually meet or socializing. That's the word. So in what ways do we really need to be aware?
It's the shows we are watching.
Yeah.
A lot of these shows, if you go to Netflix, a lot of the shows there have something to do with that
Casual
flings, by both sexes, as well as Instagram, the algorithms, how they normally promote. You click on one thing and it leads you to a whole other rabbit hole of the same content.
Right.
If you go to TikTok, same thing. So those kind of things are done that they are very subtle, but they sort of promote this kind of the trend currently, which is just hooking up and moving on.
I know. Oh my God.
It's very subtle though.
Kwanzaa shows. I mean, hello, Game of Thrones, episode 1, scene 1. You're like, hey, boom, what? Guys, calm down. They don't even let you get to the 5th episode until you know the characters. It already even just starts with sex.
From the get-go. A lot of the shows are like that. Yes. Yeah.
Okay, fine. But who is really putting this pressure on us? Yes, we know there's all that imagery that we're talking about that's out there, that's very subtle signals, that we're absorbing this kind of thing and we think it's quite fine. So we are normalizing it. But honestly speaking, even from, if you want to play a guy's devil's advocate or whatever, the question is, who's putting this pressure on women to actually get involved in casual sex?
It's both inwards and outwards. Society is putting pressure on us to an extent. The friends we hang out with, the people the places we go, the people we hang out with, our girlfriends are doing it. Our boyfriends, who are just our platonic friendships, are also doing it. Then when you come within, you feel like, I should also be able to do it as well as as good as my friends are doing it. So as much as you're not looking to do that, but because of the pressure from your friend circle, you end up slowly getting yourself into a hookup, and then it could easily spiral from there.
Right. And you'll find that a lot of babes would actually talk about, I didn't really think about it. It was under the influence. Alcohol seems to be a very huge factor when it comes to these casual hookups.
It is, but let's not blame alcohol for everything.
Blame it on the
right? And also the apps we have on our phone that we download by ourselves, voluntarily. These dating apps that also sort of promote having meeting someone for the night and just having a good time. So part of that is the apps we have on our phones, the social media as well. And then of course, if you use drugs or alcohol, they do inhibit your judgment, and then you're likely to make a bad decision at the end of the night. Afternoon or morning.
Because the next day, a lot of women would be like, oh my God, what did I do? What did I do?
And we do,
But I like how the fact that you're just like, wait a minute, you're the same person who went to register on Tinder. You're on, what was that other one? Was it Bumble? Yes, Bumble. So you decide to take yourself there, and then unfortunately, the people who you're meeting there already know that this platform is supposed to be just for random hookups. I think I told you about the story on some guy very many years ago. See, peer pressure. Open an account on Tinder, just open. Babe, you never know, And the person I meet was like, why are you even here? Like, men actually know why they're there.
And to be honest, a lot of the people who are on there, especially men, okay, let me not say all the men, but a big number of men actually are in committed relationships. And they are primarily there for just
hookups.
A hookup, away from the seriousness of their usual normal life.
Let's take a second to recognize the married men who are on Tinder. By the way, some of you have been busted. Why you?
We see you.
Story for another day. But yeah, that's very, very true. And probably they won't obviously post their status unless they're the dummies who we're talking about, who everybody knows is married.
Yes.
But yes, guys do hide a lot, but tend to be on Tinder because it's easy fishing, you know.
It is, yes.
Yeah.
And also in the defense of these guys,
everybody
knows that. So at this point, everyone knows who is there, is looking for a hookup, and many of the people who are there possibly are in committed relationships, and they're just there for the hookup primarily.
Oh, it's crazy. This is a crazy world. Let's talk about some of the characters that we know in pop culture who have portrayed, you know, badass women. You know, I'm in it just for, you know, the sex, or I'm in it because anyway, whatever, I'm going to gain money or whatever it is. So characters like Samantha from Sex and the City, right? Yay! People who are like influencers or even entertainers will actually portray that, oh yeah, you know, babes can actually handle this. But is it all a facade in your opinion?
I think for a large number of women, it's a facade. There are a few, of course, the outliers who possibly that is who they are. They're confident in and out. But for a larger population of us, we may portray this hard shell, this what. But internally, we're just looking for a connection. We are looking to be vulnerable with somebody, with one particular person, but then we are trying to see if this hard exterior can help us eventually get to these particular people that we're trying to attract into our lives.
Right.
So I would say that a big number of women are actually vulnerable and very not as confident as they portray.
Yeah.
A small population possibly is as badass as Samantha.
And then here you are just following, you know, these bad out there, okay? The B word, let me not say it, but anyway, you're following them, you see what they do, you follow their artistry, and then we forget, by the way, that's a role they are playing. Because Kim Cattrall, who is Samantha, literally was married for the longest, divorced but married for the longest. And can you imagine, she's Samantha? I talked to you about like some of these big names, like Nicki Minaj settled, Rihanna settled, you know. Beyonce. I mean, really, her music highly promoted, you know, women, female empowerment, you know, independence as a woman. Go out there and liberate yourself sexually. But hello, she's like to the left. Jay-Z came back. She talked about, you know, being independent. Jay-Z, I'm sure, was definitely helping out with those bills. Right?
Mansions and all it is.
Still is, okay? She's there with a whole family.
Children,
and children.
Stable.
And, stable home.
Seemingly stable.
And you're just over there like, hey, no man can tell me, nini, I'm going to, you know, get mine and get out.
The getting out is the problem. The getting out is
the problem. Huh? And then you, as Nigerians say, you foolish mumu. You're just going right in there. But then now, ukiingia kwa hiyo shimo kutoka.
It's not easy.
It's not easy. In fact, you really did say that in one of your posts. As I was reading along, you said that detachment isn't as easy as we think.
It's not. Because you're invested, emotionally invested, psychologically invested in this particular person. You know, you're hoping, you're there hoping that they actually will eventually end up as a whole relationship. And this person is looking for no strings attached. Meanwhile, they're trying to see if the strings will attach. See? And then that leads to a lot of frustration. Low self-esteem. You have low self-value. You yourself see yourself as with very low self-esteem. You know, and you have a lot of negative self-talk, self-belief, and that's the beginning now of you going through a pattern of similar behavior. You know, we have girlfriends who have this kind of behavior, right? And you tell them, I mean, you see she's very capable, she has a job, she's managing her affairs well,
she's beautiful,
yes, she has her finances together, but this particular part of her life, she just keeps going round and round in circles with the same kind of men over and over again, you know.
And by the way, they always say that I've had so many relationship coaches say, if you really want to understand what's going on with you, look at the people you continue to select in your life. So is this an underlying issue that's ongoing with person X that they don't want to face, because the fact that you find yourself in this repetitive behavior of casual hookups, trying to look for love in the wrong places, there's something that you're just not addressing.
That is true. Many times there's something that you don't necessarily denial, but you have no insight. Insight is the ability to know I have a problem. This particular part of my life is a problem that I need to address. Yeah, that is insight. They don't have that. So not as you tell them, there was John, there was this. I mean, you're the common denominator here. Perhaps you need to look inward and see if you can do some work on yourself. Yeah. So some of them just lack insight, and perhaps therapy would be a good way for them to slowly build insight. Yeah. And with insight, it helps them see themselves in a different way and slowly build self-esteem, self-value, self-worth, self-love, which many times is lacking. Yeah.
And so why is it important for women to note that they could end up being prey all over again? Or let me say you're that carcass that now the other vultures find. Yeah. Because when you've already hooked up with John, how is it that Mark, Michael, Victor, Joroge, and Odis all smell this and end up coming, and you fall for all of that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like guys can actually tell. They'll be like, low self-esteem. Yeah. This is the one.
Yeah. How can you tell that you have low self-esteem? If you keep accepting this kind of behavior from different kind of men, you need to look inwards. Yeah. And ask, is it me? Ask your girlfriend, please, what do you see about, what have you noticed about my behaviors in the last few months or years that has made me keep doing this? Yeah. I think that's one way to start, is looking inwards. Always. Yeah.
I'm telling you, the guys can smell it. You know, ladies don't see it, but I don't know how guys have this radar.
Maybe Mark can tell us.
Mark, tell us, how do guys actually end up and it becomes a vicious cycle for the babe?
Definitely does.
Because
your brain pattern changes. The things that you should value, you accept bare minimum, and that's the beginning of the end. When you accept bare minimum, when someone is constantly unreliable, but you still make excuses for their behavior.
Yes.
When someone keeps telling you, I'll do this, and they don't do it, ask yourself, why am I still believing this person?
Correct. Yeah. Correct. We know traditionally, whether it's faith-based institutions, whether it's our parents, typically there'll be a lot of shame, if all of this is found out, that you did this, it blew up in your face. Sometimes there are always consequences. Maybe perhaps there's a pregnancy involved in in your hooking up. But how do you think we ought to address this? With women, but sana young ladies. For me, I still say by there are those people who are 40 plus, okay, and are still doing this hookup culture thing. Yeah.
I think for the younger ladies, we need to educate them. Educate them that yes, sex should be had. Sex should be a healthy thing to have. Hopefully, good sex. But with such freedoms comes responsibilities. You know, every action has a consequence. For the older ladies, many of them that do end up doing this, they're mature. Perhaps they're emotionally mature to know what they're doing. They know the consequences of the action. Right. But they're not looking for anything perhaps long term. In many cases, they're already established. They're just looking for a good night out. Perhaps they've been through relationships, a divorce, and now they're just looking to enjoy their life. Yeah. So for that population, we would not tell them any different. If that's working for you, do you, right?
More power to you.
Exactly. But for the younger ladies who are very impressionable, who are trying, who actually don't want this, but because of the pressures from society, from their friend circle, they're getting involved in these hookups. We need to help and educate that sex should be had, but should be had responsibly in terms of making sure that you're safe mentally, emotionally, but also physically, because sometimes we've heard of these things happening in Airbnbs and people end up dead out of a hookup. You don't know the guy very well. You go to a funny place or even a nice place,
Mm-hmm.
because danger lurks everywhere, you know.
Yeah.
So both physical harm, but also illnesses, you know,
True.
including HIV.
Correct. I mean, it could be these aluta vibes that everybody's on. You know,
Right.
it's the in thing now to like
Yeah.
party for 3 days straight.
Yes.
Yeah,
in
yeah.
these
That's
trap
such a
parties.
high risk environment.
It is, you know, those in those what I've had in those parties.
Yeah.
A lot of drugs being shared, you know. So you could be in and out of consciousness. You
Yeah.
know, you could go through physical violence, sexual violence, of course. You know,
Yeah.
so it's there are a lot of risks in hooking up with people who you don't even know well enough to go to their place or to change from club A now to a different place or to your home
Yeah.
if you
Yeah.
were to do that.
You need to share this, by the way, with any young lady you know.
Yeah.
Or you can talk to them about it. By the way, this is a really good, you know, starter as you're having this conversation. Like, oh, by the way, did you watch that episode
Yes.
that Shiko Kaitani had with Dr. Malaika? Yeah, let me play it for you so that next time you decide you're going to Quaver Lounge, you know. Okay?
Yeah.
So as we begin to wind up, I'm particularly concerned, Dr. Malaika, about those who've moved from that level of feeling low. There's some low self-esteem issues. They're kind of feeling shameful. They are judging themselves, and now have progressed from that and are having suicidal thoughts.
Yeah.
You know, someone who just can't stand the idea of this happening to them.
Yeah.
I mean, what do we do? How do we engage? And for you, how do you deal with such cases?
Well, as soon as the word suicide is on the table, then we need to address it as a medical emergency.
Yeah.
So then they should be able to seek a safe place to express themselves as a therapist, a GP, a psychiatrist, first and foremost.
Yeah.
Because with the low self-esteem, especially if it persists, then with persistent low mood, persistent hopelessness and
Yeah.
despair and just the shame and the guilt around this, they are slowly vulnerable to getting depression, to anxiety, and sometimes this can be managed either through therapy or combining therapy and medication. So it's always the first thing to do is find a safe space to express yourself. That could be either your parent or your sibling, or your best friend or your friend. If that fails, your pastor maybe, you know, if your pastor isn't the judgmental kind,
Yeah.
you know. So first thing is to talk to a safe person, whoever that may be for you, and then go from there perhaps to a specialist or to a doctor if there are thoughts of suicide or persistent hopelessness and despair.
Yeah. It's really sad because I've seen a lot of cases like that, you know, on social media. You know, it's one thing to be home on a Friday or the weekend, you're pigging out and eating ice cream because you're thinking of a guy who just did you wrong and ditched you or blocked you and doesn't care. To you being like, I'm going to harm myself if this guy doesn't call me, you're stalking, you're calling, I mean, you know, just excessive behavior.
Yeah.
Now we have a problem.
Now that's a problem. That is very true, especially when it comes to stalking this person, you know. And to be quite honest, sometimes guys tell us from the get-go
Yeah.
what it is they're looking for. We don't hear. We hear our own things,
Yes.
you know.
Yeah.
So now this guy had already told you perhaps he wasn't interested, maybe in a long-term thing, and then
Yeah.
here you are invested, which as women, based on our biology, we are more prone to that than men.
Right,
You know?
right,
Yeah.
right. Well, we want to urge you, by the way, if this is the situation, perhaps, or you could be finding yourself leaning towards this, it's always great to reach out, like Dr. Malaika has mentioned. And so what's, you know, the best way that people can reach out to you, Dr. Malaika?
So social media, I go by Malaika Kamenju, Dr. Malaika Kamenju, and also have a website. That's Malaika Wellness Hub. Day and night, you can find me there.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, I was singing for her before. I'm like, Malaika.
There she was, people.
Nakupenda Malaika.
She did
which
that,
means you
yeah.
need to come for another episode.
And maybe I shall for another episode.
But Malaika was like, okay, this is so lame. Like from Primo, people have been singing this song to her all her life.
Yeah.
She's just tired.
Then in class 3, I changed classes. I changed schools.
Yeah.
Then my first day of school, they sang me this song.
Oh no!
Yeah,
And it's gonna follow you all the days.
All the days of my life. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Dr. Malaika, for making it. We're going to see her again, by the way, for another episode. Trust me, content kibao, okay? We have all those episodes lined up for you. So make sure, by the way, to continue to send your feedback and also tell us some of the things that you feel Daktari over here can also cover. We'd be happy to talk about it. Bless you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you for watching Hello
Bye.
Day. Bye.